Welcome to the final session on adverbs. In previous videos, we spoke about the importance of adverbs in sentences. Adverbs modifies a verb, an adjective, another adverb, or at times a whole sentence. Okay, adverbs, when it modifies a verb, it is actually telling us how the action happened. Okay, the way it describes the way the action happened. Adverbs and adjectives, when it is modifying adjectives, it gives us a degree of intensity to the adjective. It can also modify another adverb, right? An adverb can be used to describe another adverb. Adverbs and sentences, there are few words that we use that modifies not just a part of information in the sentence, the whole information, the whole sentence itself, right? We call them as sentence adverbs. These few of them are say maybe beautifully, okay, generally, interestingly. These are the ly forms of adverbs that we use. Okay. Now, one of the things we also discussed was that a common thought process that people have is that all adverbs end with ly. Or rather, ly ending words are all adverbs. Both of them aren't true. Okay, there are many adverbs that end with ly. However, there are a few. A word such as fast, right? Fast is a word that can be used as an adjective or as an adverb. There is no ly form of the word fast. Adverbs being such multifaceted concept, we have different types of adverbs because they have a lot of functions to perform. There are 5 main types of adverbs: adverbs of degree, adverbs of frequency, adverbs of manner, adverbs of place, and adverbs of time. In the second part of our video, we discussed about adverbs of degree. Adverbs of degree, as the name suggests, it talks about the intensity of the verb. Okay, it gives us the information, how much, to what an extent, right? To what degree. That is the information the adverbs of degree gives us. We can categorize them into 3 different degrees: low degree, okay, medium, and high degree. Right? Adverbs of degrees can also be used to modify adjectives and other adverbs because they tell us the intensity of what is happening in the sentence, right? So it can also be used to modify adjectives and other adverbs, right? Few commonly used adverbs of degree are almost, hardly, okay, enough, quite, simply, and so on. Next, we spoke about adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency let us know how often the verb occurs. Okay, they mostly are associated with verbs, right? Because an event happening, right, an action that occurs, that action is described by a verb, and the adverb modifies that verb to tell us how often the verb occurs. As such, we use this adverb of frequency. We always use it just before the main verb in a sentence. Main verbs are all the words that describe action that happen. Okay, right? So common adverbs of frequency are never, always, usually, often, and so on. Adverbs of manner was another concept we discussed. As the name suggests, it is telling us how or in what manner something was carried out. Okay, right? So we find adverbs of manner mostly at the end of the clause, and they modify verbs mostly. Okay, right? So this is that popular category of adverbs that end with ly. Generally, we use words like beautifully, generously, neatly, happily. These are all few adverbs of manner. In this video, we will continue and talk about the other few adverbs, adverbs of place. Adverbs of place tells us more about where the verb took place. It is telling us the place where it actually happened. Okay, these tend to appear immediately after the main verb or the direct object of the sentence. Okay, main verb we have understood. Direct object. Object in a sentence is the noun that is bearing the actions made by the subject. A subject is a noun that is doing the action. The object in the sentence is the noun that is bearing the action. Okay, right? So the direct object in a sentence will be the one that is directly connected to the subject in the sentence. Okay, so these adverbs of place appear either with the main verb or with the direct object. Okay, few commonly used adverbs of place include words like here, in, everywhere, above, below, etc. Few sentences maybe will give you a better idea on that. In Ireland, there are thatched roof cottages everywhere. Clearly, there aren't any leprechauns here. I was so beguiled, I drove into a ditch. The books are placed above the shelf. Okay, so here it is giving us an idea of where the action occurred. The next will be adverbs of time. As the word suggests, time, right? It gives us detail on when the verb took place. Right? So we see these kind of adverbs used at the beginning or at the end of the sentences. Few commonly used words in this category will be annually, daily, tomorrow, weekly, yearly, etc. Few sentences on the same. Lately, Anna has been rude to everyone. They recently relocated to Manali. The morning newspaper arrives daily. My parcel will arrive tomorrow. Okay, so please note that these words are telling us time. When an action will occur, right, is the information these adverbs give us. There are few important pointers to keep in mind while using adverbs in our sentences. First thing would be to avoid unnecessary adverbs. Adverbs, though, are an important part of the sentence. Sometimes they make our writing clumpy when we use too many adverbs in a sentence. We can use many adverbs in a sentence. However, avoiding unnecessary adverbs is one of the best way to form your sentences. Okay, now another thing, vocabulary. The second thing would be the usage of verbs or adjectives. Now, if you are using verbs or adjectives that are not very powerful or they are not precise to the point that we are discussing here, people tend to reach out for adverbs to give more emphasis onto the verb or the adjectives used. Vocabulary plays a very important role here. While if we have a large vocabulary, then we can pick and choose the verbs or adjectives that fit precisely to the concept that we want to share. Okay, so if we can improve our vocabulary, verbs and adjectives will become more powerful and precise, and we can avoid unnecessary adverbs used in our sentences. The final thought here would be to place adverbs as close as possible to the words they are supposed to modify. Right? So if you're using an adverb to modify a verb, then it needs to be just next to the main verb. If you're using an adverb of frequency, it will appear before the main verb. If you're using any other adverb, it will appear after the main verb. Okay? Or if you're using maybe adverb of time, it needs to appear at the end or at the beginning of the sentence. Each adverb has its own place. There is a spot for the adverb to be used. Now, if you put an adverb in the wrong spot, you may change the sentence to mean awkward, right? Or it might mean entirely different from what you want to convey. This is one of the error that we talk about in spotting of errors, where we discuss misplaced modifiers. Modifiers are nothing but adverbs because they modify the verb, the adjective, another adverb or the sentence on the whole. So misplacing them, keeping them or using them in places where they are not supposed to be, gives a wrong idea to the reader about what is discussed in the sentence. At the end of the videos, you should be able to identify adverbs, understand different types of adverbs and use them in your sentences effectively. You need to be also able to place adverbs accordingly in the sentences to avoid errors.